My name is Ed Fox. I was born in 1923. Originally born and raised in Chicago, Illinois. And while I was there during the Depression, I had several jobs, stock in stores, delivering, worked in a meat market, making sausage, putting sawdust on the floor in those days, making deliveries for him. And one of the deliveries was Al Capone. His cook would always have cookies and muffins and whatnot for me when I arrived. And when I would meet him and he was there, he always gave me a silver dollar. When they would see me going to school, his crew, his men, and it was poor weather in his V16 Cadillac, they would pick me up and take me to school and take me right to the front door. And the teachers and the principal would, because they knew the car because it was recognizable in Chicago. They'd always ask me what was inside that car, and I always sat in the back. And but there was shotguns, there was all kinds of weapons strapped and tied in. I entered the Marine Corps in 1941. I already had 2 or 3 years prior service with the National Guard. But in 1941 in June, I went into Camp Pendleton and trained with the 2nd Marine Division. December 7th came and panic came across the Pacific. We loaded ship out of San Diego, a company of us, and headed west. The rumors aboard ship were we're heading out to attack Japan right now. We landed in Pearl Harbor 3 days later, and that's when we found out that Wake Island had already fallen. Pearl Harbor itself was an awakening right then and there. The devastation, burning, the oil, the stench. There wasn't much talking as we came into the harbor. We went on to Midway Island. We're closer to Japan now than we were the United States. I was trained as a machine gunner. I had a responsibility of a certain amount of real estate in front of me that our gun, there was 3 of us in that gun, had to take care of. And we had 5,000 rounds of ammunition belted in the dugout with us. Our gun could fire 500 rounds a minute. So I'll give you an idea how long we could stay in there. We had side weapons, we had hand grenades, and toilet paper. We figured the toilet paper was the most important thing that we had. Within 28 minutes of the first attack on Midway Island on June the 4th, it became an offense on our part, not a defense. And that was particularly due to goof-ups by the Japanese Navy and by courage of the American pilots. And had it not been for the Navy at sea, it was the reason why I was alive today. Then we formed the 5th Marine Division, and our mission then, which we did not know, was Iwo Jima. I have trouble explaining periods of time on Iwo. When we went on the island on February the 19th at 7:15, 7:30, we thought we'd never going to make it. As I passed over people that were wounded and to get to what I was supposed to do, why, they were calling out Corpsman, Corpsman, and I would join them and yell out Corpsman also, but I had to keep going, otherwise I'd have ended up right there. It was probably one of the hardest times that I spent, was making my decision to keep going rather than trying to help them. From there, as we advanced down the island, up the island, I moved in with the front line of the infantry. The infantry around me that was protecting our team called, "Fox, you better get in the hole. It's going to get rough." I didn't get into the hole and had overhead fire. Lasted several seconds, probably 15, 20 seconds, but it felt like a long time. And I heard someone call me, "Fox, Fox, come and help me." And this sergeant was trying to crawl out of the hole. And when I got to him, crawled back to him, I found out that a shell landed directly in the hole that he was cautioning me to get in. And he lost both of his legs from thighs on down. And I grabbed him and drug him to the aid station, which a few feet away. His last words were to me, My mother, my mother. 5 days later, I was on top of Suribachi and watching the flag go up. The real heroes did not return, but they did make the sacrifice so I could return and tell the kids about what they did and why. But I wouldn't be here today if it had not been for the people that looked out for me and did their job. And I don't think they'd mind the ones that I helped bury on Iwo or saw being buried on Iwo, that I represent them today and telling about what they did and why. They're the heroes, yeah. I'm just now a spokesman for them.